So I'm going to do a video on book recommendations. I've had two separate ladies ask me to make this video and I just haven't done it, and I'm caught myself judging myself, so I was like, you know what, let's just make it. I got the clay mask on, breaking out right here, and it's really good for when you're in your luteal phase because we produce more oil when we're in the phase that's pre-menstruation, so it really just dries it out for me. So I just want to start by saying I am earth-based spiritual. I put my spirituality is focused around the earth. Like Mama Gaia is centered in the middle of my practices, and these books can also share insight on that if you take it that way, and only take what resonates. Take what resonates. You don't have to read a book and apply everything to your life or apply everything how I am to your life. It's literally just just take what resonates. So we're going to start. So it's not a long video. I'm going to start with this book first. It's my favorite book. This is when I started my self-healing, self-awareness, spiritual journey in 2020. This is the first book that really changed it for me. I was in the mental hospital when I got this book. It was called Haven. And I wasn't supposed to take it, but come on. So I'm going to read something from it, and I'm going to tell you the author and everything. A Practical Guide to the Art of Relationship, a Toltec Wisdom Book. The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I have so many of his books, but I'm only going to show one of his and one of his sons right now. His son's books are amazing too. So I'll read the back. The Mastery of Love, Don Miguel Ruiz, illuminates the fear-based beliefs and assumptions that undermine love and lead to suffering and drama in our relationships. Using insightful stories to bring his message to life, Ruiz shows us how to heal our emotional wounds, recover the freedom and joy that are our birthright, and restore the spirit of playfulness that is vital to loving relationships. The Mastery of Love includes why domestication and the image of perfection leads to self-rejection, the war of control that slowly destroys most relationships, why we hunt for love in others and how to capture the love inside us, how to finally accept and forgive ourselves and others. Happiness can only come from inside of you and is the result of your love. When you are aware that no one else can make you happy and that happiness is the result of your love, this becomes the greatest mastery of the Toltecs, the mastery of love. And this is Don Miguel Ruiz. So I'm going to tell you a little story real quick. When I was in the mental hospital, I was on the phone with Desmond, and I was like, come on, I just want to be with you. I want to be with you. This and that. I was really attached and dependent and just everywhere, and he was like, I can't be with you until you learn to love yourself. And I was like, what does that even mean? How do I learn to love myself? I was literally asking myself, how do I learn to love myself? Asking him. And he was like, everything happens for a reason. And I was like, what does that even mean? So later that evening, I was asking one of the friends I had made in there if they had a book, because the people were not giving me books. They didn't have any. Whatever. Pretty sure they didn't, Pretty sure they didn't. They didn't want to go get me one either. So I asked him, and he gave me this book. And I was literally crying while reading and everything, because I was like, wow, everything does happen for a reason. And this is how I can learn to love myself. This is it was so crazy. It was so crazy. It changed my life. And if you want to learn to love yourself and others the proper way and figure all this stuff out about yourself, I feel like this book will really, really help you. I'm going to read this also. In the Toltec tradition, 3 fundamental masteries guide us to our true nature, which is happiness, freedom, and love. The first is the mastery of awareness. This mastery teaches us to be aware of what we really are. It is the first step toward freedom, because we cannot be free if we don't know what we are or what kind of freedom we are looking for. The Toltecs said, let us see ourselves with truth, and they created a mastery just for awareness. The second is the mastery of transformation. which teaches us how to become spiritual warriors and stalk our actions and reactions so we can break free of the knowledge that enslaves us. This mastery shows us how to change the dream of our life by changing our agreements and beliefs. The mastery of love is the result of the first two masteries. From the Toltec perspective, everything is made of love. Love is life itself. When we master love, we align with the spirit of life passing through us. We are no longer the body or the mind or the soul. We are love. Then every action we take is an expression of love, and love in action can only produce happiness. When we master awareness, transformation, and love, we reclaim our divinity and become one with God. This is the goal of the Toltec. So I opened the page and I have this highlighted. I'm going to read right here. To become masters of love, we have to practice love. The art of relationship is also a whole mastery, and the only way to reach mastery is with practice. To master a relationship is therefore about action. It is not about concepts or attaining knowledge. It is about action. Of course, to have action, we need to have some knowledge, or at least a little more awareness of the way humans operate. And it just goes really into depth. I don't want to take too much time on this one, but it is my favorite. Changed my freaking life, dude. Changed my life. I was crazy before. I was so depressed and anxious and suicidal and insecure, and I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know how to speak up for myself. I was overweight. I was eating bad things. I wasn't taking care of myself in any way. I was mentally like a victim, focusing on the bad. I had so much resentment towards so many people. I was always out partying, drinking, smoking, ignoring myself. I was always just doing things that weren't good for me. I had no good habits. I would sleep in. I wouldn't get any sun. I would always be mad or reacting. I was in drama. It was just so much stuff. So much stuff. My skin was so bad. My face was so bad. My skin has never been this clear in my life, and I'm so thankful I changed everything, my lifestyle. And it just reflects on a person, Okay, next book. The Mastery of Self by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., Don Miguel Ruiz's son. A Toltec Guide to Personal Freedom. He who masters others is wise. He who masters himself is enlightened. Lao Tzu said that. The ancient Toltecs believed that life, as we perceive it, is a dream. We each live in our own personal dream, and these come together to form the dream of the planet or the world in which we live. Most of us strive to live happy and peaceful lives, but the dream of the planet is full of mental and emotional traps that can knock us off balance and keep us bound in a prison of suffering. In The Mastery of Self, Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. teaches that much of our suffering occurs when we forget that we are the architects of our own reality, and we have the power to change our dream if we choose. In this book, he offers us the tools to break free from the chains of suffering, including the toughest chains to break, the ones we have created for ourselves. And if you really think about it, we play the main role in our own suffering. We have the ability to always choose, but it is hard. But if we continue to use it as it's hard as an excuse to not change, we're going to forever be where we are 20 years down the road or when we're 50. Nothing changes, just how our body does, unless we choose to change our perception, because our thoughts do really create the reality we live in and our timeline and everything. And we have that power. Everything around us is here to just help us, they're tools, but the real work comes from looking inwards. And this is a really good book too, really good book. I'm going to read this, I underlined. As a master of self, you can have relationships with others, even those who disagree with you, while still being grounded in your authentic self. You are able to maintain your free will and respect the free will of others. And right here, I underlined, however, when you become aware that you are falling into a trap, the simple act of noticing it allows you to regain control. Awareness, self-awareness is the step into changing the route of everything. This is a really good book too. Has a lot of explanation, like definitions of stuff. It has a lot of questions in here. At the end of each chapter, you get to reflect. Has some questions. I'm gonna read them. Like this one says, identifying your attachments. Why do you feel so strongly about this item? What sense of security does it give you? How is this item tied to your identity or sense of self? How does it boost your ego? Are you pleased to show this item to others, or is it an item that you show no one and secretly feel special for having? Does owning it make you feel more attractive than others, wealthier, more secure, more intelligent, or more spiritual? And it says crumble up the paper and all that. And there's more questions. It's a really, really good book for self-reflection and self-awareness and figuring yourself out. How to Stop Being Toxic. It's a really thin book. I read this in I don't know. It only took me being a day at the park with my son while he was playing. I'll read the back. Oh, it's by Antony, Felix. You can find it on Amazon. All these you can find on Amazon. I'll put in the description. Have you noticed a worrying trend where your relationships don't last, even when you desperately want them to? And upon further probing, you are toxic came a lot more often than many things, even when you thought you are genuinely a good person that wants to look out for yourself and friends. Are you looking for a guide that can help you break the cycle of broken relationships, friendships, due to toxic behaviors, so you can start building relationships that last and are mutually beneficial and uplifting for everyone? If you've answered yes, let this book provide the much needed direction on how to stop being so toxic that people can't stand you, and help you build the positivity and warmth you need to pull people towards you and keep them, because you are always radiating positive vibes. You may think you are not toxic, but this book is about to prove to you that we all have some level of toxicity that we should strive to break in order to be the friend, partner, child, parent, boss, or even stranger that people want to be around all the time. The fact that you are here means you've done some self-reflection and are genuinely interested in personal transformation, as you identify traits like manipulation, gaslighting, controlling, playing the victim, not taking responsibility, and many others. Perhaps you are wondering, what exactly does it mean to be toxic? What is considered toxic behavior that could be driving people away from me? What can I do about this toxic behavior to start pulling people towards me as opposed to driving them away? What possible pitfalls should I watch out for? How do I make people genuinely interested in me? This book will answer all these and other related questions using simple, non-accusatory, not accusing you of anything, and encouraging language that will walk you through the journey to transformation. I hope you enjoy it. And it's a really good book. A lot of people are in denial, and they're like, no, I'm not toxic, that's not me, blah 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 blah. But it takes a lot of balls to be like hold yourself accountable. It's uncomfortable. Healing and growing is not all fun and games. It is uncomfortable, and it takes a lot of accountability. And it's yes, I fucked up and I am like this, but I'm aware of it now and I can change. Okay, no one likes somebody that just denies everything and how they've hurt people and how they're hurting themselves. You will not get anywhere being like that. This big guy, Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About by Kevin Trudeau, and More Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About by Kevin Trudeau or something. More Natural Cures. This is when I started learning about ingredients and the truth about the system and big pharma and just everything. He helps with so much stuff, and it's scientifically proven. These are not opinions. So if you're somebody that just doesn't like accepting truth because they're going against how you're living right now, and it might feel embarrassing within, these probably aren't the books for you. It's too much for me to get into right now. These will change your life. It will tell you so much about yourself, health-wise, which is body, mind, and spirit. It will give information. It will give websites. It'll give items you can buy on websites, and this book too, if you're into that. Cancer, it talks about everything. In here, dude. These are my babies. I love my books so much. And here's another one. It's called Sacred Woman. A Guide to Healing the Feminine Body, Mind, and Spirit by Queen Afua. Very, very beautiful. Although this book might be, seem like it's directly made for African women, it is for women all over, as she specifically says that. But it has a lot of good things in here, and I only take what resonates with me. It has a lot of like right here she talks about Kemetic Nubian philosophy, and a lot of things about like who they worship and just all types of things. But I just take what resonates, which is like about the, let me read something from right here. Okay. Sacred work blockages. It has stuff about like how to heal with your significant other. Yeah, it's too much to read right now. She has a whole month-on-month. It's like a whole month-on-month program in here to help you re-find yourself. And if you are also a Black woman that you aren't aware of your power and maybe you feel insecure about your hair, your beautiful, beautiful natural hair, this book will make you feel so much better. Like, I just wish every woman can step into that, like, power and knowing how beautiful and capable and powerful we all are individually, and your ancestors and everything. So it talks about diet, lifestyle, clothing, crystals, the herbs, the juices. When other women come to you in a negative way, when they attack you, not even only physically, but in all types of ways, they're called gateways. Here you go. I think there's 11 gateways. I don't know, but right here, look, it says how to identify a person living their sacred work vision. They are excited about living. They are tapped into their creativity. They are healthy and vibrant. They are joyous. They are fulfilled. They have unlimited vision. They are free. They are radiant. They are loving. They are at an appropriate weight. Generally, when you are spiritually, mentally, and emotionally fed by living your sacred work vision, your body weight is appropriate for your age and height. And that is understandable, A lot of things like this, a lot of people feel embarrassed and they don't want to accept like it is for what it is, but we each have the power to change our life around, and that's what's beautiful about it. For yourself though, not for anybody. And if you don't want to change, that is perfectly fine too. That's perfectly fine. And then I had another book, but I just gave this book away to a lovely lady the other day, and this is one of my favorite books. If you are trying to get in tune with women around you and sisterhood and not be like an envious, jealous woman or feel like you have to be in competition with other women, or if you're victimizing yourself and everything, this book be great. It's called Warrior Goddess Training, Become the Woman You're Meant to Be by heatherash Amara. She was an apprentice of Don Miguel Ruiz. I'm going to read the back of it. It's online. It's no secret that women today are juggling a lot. We now make up more than half the workforce in the United States and are busier than ever with partners, children, family, and friends, often putting the needs of others ahead of our own. And if we feel overwhelmed by it all or fall short of perfection, many of us have learned to be our own worst critic rather than our own best friend. That's where finding our inner warrior goddess comes in. In Warrior Goddess Training, best-selling author heatherash Amara provides the antidote to the flawed idea that you are not enough. Direct, honest, and unapologetic, Amara will show you how to release the layers of expectations to finally see yourself for the authentic, perceptive, perfect woman you really are. If you don't love and honor yourself with every fiber of your being, if you struggle with owning your power and passion, if you could use more joyful play and simple presence in your life, then it's time for an inner revolution. It is time to reclaim your warrior goddess energy. And this is the book on Amazon. Hardcover is $58. Paperback is about $14. Kindle, if you have a Kindle, it's 99 cents. It looks like this. I am actually going to order another one of these, hopefully this week, because this book is just beautiful. Don't mind my nails if they're dirty, okay? Such a beautiful book. I'm so thankful for this book too. That is the book I always go to when I need some, like, I don't have like women to be around, that sisterhood circle of women to support me. So when I need that, because we're dependently independent beings and we do need that, don't deny it. It's a beautiful feeling, I promise. This book just makes me feel so much better. So 7 books, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books I recommend. Those books. I'm sorry this is so long, but yeah, I'll put the names, author, in the bio or whatever it's called. Yeah. Thank you.